Galaxy of Terror is a 1981 science fiction thriller about a bunch of astronauts that are on a rescue mission to save another rescue team on a desolate, somewhat evil planet that houses a giant, sadistic-looking pyramid which manifests the crew's worst fears into physical, violent beings, and the crew members are picked off one by one. The death scenes are definitely the highlights of the film. One guy goes down a mysterious crater by himself, like a dumbass, and is attacked by tentacles. Listen to the sucking sound. Reminds me of something from Looney Tunes. Joni from Joni Loves Chachi and Happy Days has definitely seen happier days. Ugh, that was lame, sorry. She goes down a tunnel, gets wrapped up by wired-looking tentacles, and they constrict her so much that it rips her body apart and her head explodes! There's also a shadow demon that hunts down future erotic film director Salman King. I love how they use the lighting during this scene. That's awesome! And then it suddenly ambushes him and rips his guts out. Although he doesn't die here, a pre-Freddy Krueger Robert Englund fights an evil mirror version of himself. Oh, you can definitely see some of the future Freddy Krueger brewing in that performance. Probably the stupidest and most infamously notorious is where a giant maggot rapes a naked girl to death. Yeah. I guess when you're starting out in the business, you'll do anything to pay the rent. Can you imagine having to be the editor and slog through this scene frame by frame for hours on end? I'd have nightmares! Is that what I think it is? My favorite one, though, is with Sid Haig, the future Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses. For unknown reasons, Sid has these starlight crystals he uses as weapons. Well, one of them seems to have a mind of its own. It breaks off, starts navigating up his arm. Uh-oh, so what do you do? Can you imagine doing that to your own arm? And then his own severed arm kills him. Oh, I love it. It's so stupid. It's awesome. I have to say, another appeal to the film is the practical special effects, stemming from stop animation to miniature sets. And just look at the production design. It's amazing to think that all these sets were built by scratch in a limited amount of time by sleep-deprived people virtually working 24/7 under an extremely low budget constructed within a lumberyard! A lumberyard! With the wood and everything still there! You'd never guess! All the production design and practical special effects were helmed by a future king, James Cameron. Even as a fledgling, he was doing incredible stuff, and a lot of the people who worked on the film with him would be his special effects team for his future films. You can definitely see the Terminator and Aliens atmosphere in this film. The only thing that makes this B-movie pretty laughable is the direction and script. It's awful! Nothing is ever explained about who fears what. Random stuff happens, and the last 20 minutes feels like a whole different movie, where some porno stash guy is shooting lasers and flipping about like a video game. Does he have a fear of Atari games? It makes no sense! Then he fights a one-armed zombie Sid Haig. So he beats up all these aliens, but he can't beat a one-armed man? But Shout Factory did wonders with the film. Is that a penis? I mean, it's got the little hairs and veins and everything. Anyway, I highly recommend checking out the 1-hour documentary. It interviews much of the cast and crew, where they reveal some secrets about the film, like the walls of the ship are made from painted McDonald's Big Mac containers. That's a lot of Big Macs. Why Sid Haig refused to say any dialogue in the film, anecdotes involving Cameron potentially kung fu fighting his own staff with heels on, and the maggot creature weighed 1,000 pounds and only held up by chains. And there was even an incident where the thing almost fell and crushed the actress underneath it. On first impression, other than a few highlights, the film feels junky, but like with Deathstalker 2, once you have an awareness of what happened behind the scenes, the movie becomes a million times more enjoyable and even respectable. I say check it out. It's worth the penis. Worth the money.